Hello and welcome to Just a Guy with your social educator, your LLB, your Looney left bully. That's right, it's me, Mike D, back remote today, having a little bit of fun. Appreciate everybody that is going to be joining me here today on a Sunday evening. I know I tried to schedule this in between the NFL football games so that way we can get a couple of you guys live. I understand it's coming up on playoff time in the NFL, so I know that a lot of you are watching with anticipation, see if your team's going to make it or not. But we're not here to talk about that. You can tune in to ESPN or one of your other shows for that. We're going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard today. First, I just want to bring you a quick little ad from our sponsor, TNT Health, out there at 9450 SPID, Corpus Christi, Texas. If you haven't experienced a TNT experience, give it a try. Seda, Mike, they do things just a little bit differently. See, when you walk in their store, yes, it's a supplement store, but the first concern isn't your supplements. The first concern is your goal. They want to make sure that you are on track with your goal, which means your eating is on track, your workout is on track. Then finally your supplements are on track. Yes, supplements is how they make their money, but they want to make sure that all three are in line with your goal so you will attain your goal. So go on down, TNT Health, 9450 SPID, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Visit them online, tnt-health.com. They have everything you need, from all natural all the way to Psalms. I'd like to just welcome everybody on today. Seda, Serafin, Carlos, Connie, thank you very much for joining me. Again, today we're focusing in on Tulsi Gabbard. Why are we focusing in on Tulsi Gabbard? Because the Looney left is focusing in on Tulsi Gabbard. See, they got rid of Matt Gaetz, right? They focused in on him. He decided to step down. He's going to be doing other things. What is he going to do? I don't know. Whatever he wants to do. Now they've moved on to Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Hegseth. Today we're focusing in on Tulsi. All right? Apparently, according to the Looney left, the socialists, Marxists, communists themselves, Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset. No, that's what they're saying. Tulsi Gabbard, their former 2020 primary candidate, representative from Hawaii, former military person herself, is a Russian asset. Now, if anybody knows anything about foreign assets, it's going to be the Communist Socialist Marxist Party. We'll get into that here in a minute. But let's just hear what they have to say. You see, Democrat Senator Tammy Duckworth, Democrat from Illinois, right? She decided to go on an interview this week and just blatantly come out and say that Tulsi Gabbard is compromised and is like a Russian asset. Her words, not mine. Okay? Now, in her words, exactly in her words. Okay? Again, I'm going to read verbatim so that way you hear her words, and again, I only speak with facts. All right? I think by going to Syria and basically backing, a brutal dictator there, Russian-controlled media called her a Russian asset. So I do think that we have a real deep concern whether or not she's a compromised person. So she went, let's backtrack. So they're saying that by going to Syria, she's basically backing, a brutal dictator there. Right? And yes, Assad was a brutal dictator. No doubt about it. But Tulsi Gabbard goes and visits him, sits down with him, has a conversation with him, Because in her words, I'm going to paraphrase here, you can't even begin to strike a deal or come to an end to this civil war in Syria without actually talking to him, because he is the president of Syria. You have to at least show him that respect, she said. Does that mean she's on his side? No. She did say that she doesn't believe that he necessarily used chemical weapons on his own people. She said she's not sure about that, but she did in no way, shape, or form go to Syria and back this man. In fact, in 2019, when she was in that 2020 Democratic primary where Sleepy Joe won from the basement, she described the Syrian President Assad as, and I quote, a brutal dictator, comparing him to Iraq's Saddam Hussein and Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. So if she truly was a Russian asset, if she truly was a spy, comparing him to a dictator or a brutal dictator and putting him in the likes of Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi, definitely not getting her on his friends list, right? I don't think they're going to be Facebook friends after that. All right. So she kind of dispels that. But Senator Tammy Duckworth continues on. She claimed that the U.S. intelligence community has identified Gabbard of having, and she quotes, troubling relationships with America foes, accusing her of not being able to pass a background check. She says, and I quote here, when she was in Iraq, she was a medical records clerk, A4 below the rank of sergeant. Her second deployment was actually to Kuwait Naval Base, where she only spent 3 months training the Kuwait military. I don't know of any intelligent works that she has done. So she is, in terms of the intelligence community, very unqualified. So we're looking at Duckworth looking at Representative Gabbard's records, then in the military, saying that she's not aware of any background checks that the representative had to go through when serving in Kuwait or Iraq. Now, I'm pretty sure, now she's trained in the Kuwait military in anti-terrorist maneuvers and intelligence. Now, I spent some time in the Army myself. I'm not no great record, and I'm not saying I'm, a great soldier or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure that if you're heading up the training for the anti-terrorist piece for the Kuwait military, you probably have to pass some sort of a background check. Maybe not top secret, maybe not, but I'm sure there was some sort of background check done to then Ms. Gabbard in the military to make sure that, because she's going to know some secrets. She's going to know training tactics and secrets and things that your average soldier like me wouldn't have known. So in order to be able to attain that knowledge and then pass it on to an entire foreign entity like the Kuwait military, I'm pretty sure there was some sort of extensive background check done. Just because Miss Duckworth is unaware of it. Now, she's from Illinois, and you can look at her state. So just by just association, I'm going to assume that Senator Duckworth is unaware of a lot of things. So she said just because she's unaware, this makes her unqualified to run the intelligence community. Even though that was part of what she did in training the Kuwait military. Right? Then our favorite multinational fake Indian, Senator Elizabeth Warren, chimes in from Massachusetts. And she says, without offering details, that Gabbard is in Russian President Vladimir Putin's pocket. Elizabeth Warren, who for years said she was Indian, claiming minority status, getting opportunity after opportunity based off of this lie, by the way. Right? My wife's left hand has more American Indian percentage than she does. But yet she rode this lie all the way to Washington, D.C. Says, without offering any details, that Tulsi Gabbard is in Vladimir Putin's pocket. The only pocket that anybody was in there, Chief Warren, was you. You were in the people's pocket when you stole all that money claiming you were an Indian. That's the only pocket that anybody was in. She had her hands in America's pocket, taking all that free money. But yet, just like a typical socialist, communist, Marxist person, she can't offer any details. Just like Miss Duckworth, Senator Duckworth. She says she's unaware. Great, you're unaware. It's not a detail. Right? But this is something that we do have to listen to. Now, we should listen to the Socialist Marxist Communist Party when it comes to spies, when it comes to assets and things like that, foreign assets and foreign spies. Because if anybody knows about foreign assets and foreign spies, it's the Socialist Marxist Communist Party. I mean, they know more about it than anybody. Do you guys remember Miss Sun? She's a 41-year-old naturalized American citizen born in China. Her and her husband, Chris Hu, not who, like who, but H-U, Chris Hu, they got arrested for being agents of the Chinese government after Miss Sun was a deputy chief of staff for Governor Kathy Hochul and aide to the administration for Hochul's predecessor as well, Governor Andrew Cuomo. So for 2 consecutive mayors, New York City had a Chinese spy asset on their employment records, paying her. In fact, she was so proud that of what she was doing, she made it basically illegal for Governor Cuomo and Governor Hochul to refer to the Taiwan nation as independent. She had that much power and had that much of an influence in their ear. Socialist Communist Marxist Party employing a very important, very reliable Chinese spy. Let's not forget Fang Fang, aka Christine Fang. Right? You don't remember who she is? Just ask California Representative Eric Swalwell. He remembers her. He remembers her very well. How do I know? How do we know? They were bedfellows. She was bedfellows with a couple of Democrat mayors too. She ends up going all the way to Congress, sleep with Eric Swalwell, and again another Chinese spy in this communist socialist Marxist party. We're not done yet though. Senator Feinstein. She had a staffer / driver who again was a Chinese spy. They'll report back to government officials over there about local politics that's going on in her office. Of course, that staffer wasn't as close as some of these other ones, but it was still giving information back to China. So if anybody would know about foreign assets and foreign spies, is going to be the Socialist Marxist Communist Party. They got a proven track record of keeping them around, of letting them hang out, and hell, even employing them. So when they say that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset, I don't believe them, but you got to at least listen to them. Because if anybody knows what a foreign asset is, it's going to be the Socialist Marxist Communist Party. But some people have come out in support of Tulsi. Okay. Probably the biggest supporter out there is Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri. He came out almost immediately after Senator Duckworth came out and made these atrocious accusations, along with some of the other Democrat senators and politicians. Republican Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri says, and I quote, "I think it's really interesting that anybody that has a different political viewpoint now is being cast as a Russian asset. It's totally ridiculous. But I think it's insulting. It's a slur, quite frankly. There's no evidence that she's the asset of another country. She served this country honorably. And by the way, she cares deeply about a constitution and civil liberties and making sure people aren't targeted by these intelligence agencies. So again, I think this is a reformer who can come in, who maybe is not part of the same Washington cocktail party circuit that people in the intel community used to, but maybe that's exactly what we need right now." So Senator Schmidt of Missouri comes in and says, "Look, you got no proof. You have absolutely no proof except for the fact you don't like her. Bottom line, you don't like her. That's it. That's really all you have. You don't like the woman because she used to be a Democrat. You basically screwed her. She saw the error of her ways. She started to realize that the Looney left is way loonier than she thought it was. And she hightailed it out of there. And now she's seen the light. She understands what's going on. She needs to save America. And she's jumped on board with President Trump." That's the problem. That's why they're going after her. See, she used to be one of them. She used to be in that circle. In fact, she actually endorsed the far left progressive Bernie Sanders. So she was way over there for a little while. But as she started educating herself, she came over to the right. She came over to the conservative side. They don't like when that happens. Right? RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, you can go on and on and on. When they learn the truth, they leave. Elon Musk, he was left leaner for years. He learned, he saw the light. Now look at him. Oh, by the way, Elon, I hope you really do buy MSNBC. That'd be awesome. You got to put on the air though. You have to go in and fire like half the staff on the Air Force though. Do you want to get your ratings up there, Elon? When you buy MSNBC, make sure, especially Rachel Maddow, make sure that nobody knows you buy it. Just appear on the set, announce that you bought MSNBC, and then fire Rachel Maddow live on air. You want your ratings to go up? Guarantee not only will you be the #1 rated show for that time slot, you will be the #1 rated show for probably that entire week. That's not Elon. That's how you get your ratings up. Buy MSNBC. Don't let anybody know. Show up on the set and fire Rachel Maddow live on TV. That's good. That's good television right there. I think everybody here that's watching, you'd watch that, right? Give me a thumbs up if you'd watch that. I know there's a little bit of a lag, so we'll wait for it. Again, I always like to make a short story long, so let's get back to the story. Story is Tulsi Gabbard. Now we're talking about other people that are actually coming out in defense of her. We've already talked about Senator Eric Schmidt. One of the other ones is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, Republican from Oklahoma. And I don't want to say that he's in support of her, but the fact that he doesn't actually dog her out, especially when we're talking about a Russian agent, okay, this is almost ironic. This is why I'm bringing this up, is the fact that Representative Adam Schiff, Mr. Russian collusion hoax, Mr. Trump impeachment himself, comes out and says he would not describe Gabbard as a Russian asset, but said she has very questionable judgment, which is fair. You can say that if you don't like what she's doing, and nobody makes perfect decisions all the time. I don't believe I'm actually sticking up for Adam Schiff here. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Hold on, I gotta take a breath. Usually it doesn't happen. And I'm actually going to agree with Adam Schiff here. He's allowed to say that she has questionable judgment, okay? Because everybody has questionable judgment at times. Nobody's perfect. So for him to say, look, I don't think she's a Russian asset. I think she has questionable judgment. That's fair. Absolutely fair. So when you have the Mr. Russia hoax himself, Mr. Trump impeachment himself coming out and saying that realistically he's in defense of Tulsi Gabbard here. Look, she's not a Russian asset, guys. Leave her alone. At worst, she might have some questionable judgment. Well, in his case, words, very questionable judgment, but still. And maybe he thinks she has very questionable judgment because she does things differently from him. Way differently. She went to Syria and talked to President Assad. He wouldn't have done that. He didn't do that. He had the chance to, but he didn't. That's questionable judgment, right? But she got the answers that she was looking for, right? Maybe something else that he says that is questionable judgment. And I tend to agree with Gabbard in this position. In 2022, she actually endorsed one of Russia's justifications, actually two of them, but in this case, the first one here would be justifications for invading Ukraine is the existence of dozen U.S.-funded biolabs working on some of the world's worst pathogens. Okay? There were a couple reasons that President Putin laid out for Russia to go into Ukraine. That was one of them. She agrees with that, right? Now, if you ask the Ukraine and the U.S. and everybody else, they say that that's part of an international effort to control outbreaks and stop bioweapons. But we also know that that's not the only reason they're over there doing that, because they're also creating bioweapons, right? Look at that COVID issue, that scamdemic. That was U.S. funded. Right there, Fauci. Right there. Mr. I'm killing 100 million people. I can't wait till he goes to jail. Make it happen, MTG. Make it happen. That's going to be some good television, too. Put that on MSNBC, too, there, Mr. Musk. After you buy MSNBC, fire Rachel Maddow, when Fauci goes to jail, you put that on TV, too. That'll be the second highest rated episode. We're doing good. See, maybe I should be your program director, Mr. Musk. We'll do buy MSNBC. I'll be a program director. We'll have ratings like you've never seen before. You watch. I'll even do it for probably half of what you probably pay most of these people. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. I want my full pay. But Moscow claimed, just like a lot of people claim, that Ukraine was using them to create biodeadly weapons. And we saw that in Wuhan. Right? They're saying that the scamdemic, it escaped or whatever, right? Okay. The simple fact is a U.S. funded administration and company was making this possible. Look what happened. That's part of Russia's deal was, look, they got U.S. funded biolabs over there. We just got out of the scamdemic, and that was quote unquote an accident. What's going to happen when the Ukraine actually creates something and they're right in the back door? You literally take a bottle and throw it over the border and hit them. All right. Also, another reason, and Tulsi can understand this situation. I can understand it too. It doesn't make it right. But Ukraine had a large desire to join NATO. Okay, so that would actually put NATO right at Russia's back door. Like literally butting right up next to them. Up to that point, yes, Ukraine has been very NATO friendly, but they haven't been part of NATO. So there's certain things that they don't get and that the United States and other nations can't do when they're not part of NATO. So once they're part of NATO, that can actually cause some other issues to Russia militarily, strategically, with military units and weapons and things like that. That it just puts it closer to Russia. So if I was Russia and knowing that they didn't like me either as President Putin, I'd be a little bit worried about that one. Not saying he's right. But I understand his hesitation there. So Gabbard comes out in 2022 and says that these are two of the reasons that she understands why Russia goes to war with the Ukraine. Okay, so this is some of the possible, very questionable judgments that Adam Schiff says that she makes. So, but it's not, guys. It's not. We're not. They're not done. The Looney left isn't done, guys. Okay, they're going to keep coming after Tulsi Gabbard. They're going to keep coming after Pete Hegseth because they know that if and when these two people get confirmed, that there is going to be so much crap that they are going to be in trouble for. The amount of people, the amount of names from this deep state is going to just open like a flood. It's like opening the dams up, and everything is just going to be flooded out. And they know this. They don't want Tulsi Gabbard in there. They don't want Matt Gaetz in there. They don't want Pete Hegseth in there because they know when they get in there, everything that they've been hiding, everything that they've been keeping a secret, everything that they've been diverting from you Americans, it's all going to come to light. And that scares the living hell out of them. So they are going to do everything they can until they get at least a centrist in there that will not go in there, that doesn't have the gall that Tulsi Gabbard has, that doesn't have the gall that Pete Hegseth has, or that doesn't have the gall that now Pam Bondi has, to go in there and straighten up the DOJ and expose all kinds of crap. So they're going to keep coming after Tulsi. They're going to keep coming after Pete until they either can't fight anymore because they're confirmed, or they step down just like Matt Gaetz did. All right. So this is going to be an ongoing issue. I'd like to leave on some good news. So on a good note, we're almost done making this really short for y'all today. On a good note, University of Georgia, their Board of Regents, has said no to DEI. They said we're not doing that crap no more. That DEI is dead. DEI is DIA. Right? Said also on top of that, Seraphin, I think Pam Bondi is going to be an amazing AG too. I think she's more than qualified, and having Matt Gaetz there or Pam Bondi is like having 1A and 1B. Now that I've actually looked into her and read up a lot of what she's done, she's an amazing attorney. You're absolutely right. But to get back to University of Georgia, they've canceled DEI. DEI is DIA. And on top of that, they said, you know what? We're actually going to get back to teaching these things like the Constitution. You know, maybe the fundamentals of what made America work. Right? Instead of like just throwing out all these crazy leftist, woke agenda policies and quote unquote teachings, they're actually going to get back to facts, teaching the Constitution, teaching real history. So that way, you know, their students know their rights. Their students know what the federal government can and cannot do. What's the difference between a federal right and a state right? Maybe why the Electoral College is actually important. And then actually teaching real history, not this fake critical race theory crap. Congratulations, University of Georgia, your Board of Regents, stepping up. Absolutely love the decision. Just want to give them a big thumbs up from Mike Zuckerberg here. So I always like to try to end on a good note if I can. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up so y'all can get back to your NFL. And we're going to call it a night. I will be back on Tuesday night. We'll go ahead. We'll pick another subject. If anybody out there wants to hear a particular subject on Tuesday, please shoot it down in the comments. Shoot me a message, whatever you want. You guys can also dictate where we go with the conversations. I encourage that. You guys, I'm a social educator. You guys are social educators. If there's anything that you would like me to focus on so you guys can go out there and educate everybody. Again, we talk about the Looney left a lot. That's not who we're educating. The Looney left is gone. We can't communicate with them. We're trying to get the people in the center. We're trying to get the people just left of center, and even the people just right of center. Make them understand what's really going on in the United States. We're helping them educate. So if there's anything that you guys would like to hear about, to talk about, further get educated on, please drop me a message, drop a comment, whatever you have to do. I listen to you guys. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. And I would like to be here for years more. Right? I'd love to be able to expand and grow our social educators out to the thousands and possibly to the millions. So that way we have such a large base of social educators out there that they're already sick of hearing of us, sick of hearing us. Let's make it so we're just absolutely annoyed because we are coming with facts. So we have thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of social educators out there coming with facts. So I'll be back on Tuesday night. Anything you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Drop it in there. Until then, I'm going to say goodbye. Love each and every one of you. You know I'm going to be praying for each and every one of you. Until Tuesday night, Mike Duckenberg out.